Hey all, Tony Bing here. Hello and welcome to my Deadpool power-ups guide for Marvel Hero. It's a mega for both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Now it's a nice simple guide because Deadpool is a nice simple character. He doesn't have to worry about spirit. He has a bonus of being able to teleport all over the screen, and he's got a load of guns as well. So in this video what we will do is we will have a look at his skills and talents. We'll then follow up by checking out his synergies. We then have a look at the first 100 infinity point allocation. We then look at general gearing, and finally we have some gameplay where we run through an operation and do a bounty clear as well. Now if you want to jump to any particular section, in the description there are timestamps there as well. But first up, let's have a look at the skills we would use. So skill wise then, for this build we've got a nice simple setup, and thankfully we have what I normally always look for as well, which is a nice simple rotation. Now if you look at the first skill, the main spender, this is Bang Bang, and I'm currently using this because it gains a damage rating of 6% based on your awesome level, and I have quite a nice amount of awesome, hence I have a 98.3% damage bonus on it. Now if you're relatively new to the game and you don't have a lot of options for stacking awesome such as infinity or some harder to find artifacts, you'll want to use not so many gun, because early game that does pull ahead, but as you continue to play and gear up you'll then switch over to Bang Bang as your main spender. Now the first cooldown skill we look at anyway, and you always start off with this to get the aggro off you, is Little Deadpool, and with this it works as a taunt, 8-second cooldown, and you have 3 charges off of it. So you always start off your rotation with this to pull aggro off you, because with the rest of your rotation you'll be standing still as you fire it off, so you don't want all the enemies attacking you whilst you do that. Next up we have Hulk Hand Arrows. This hits for a nice amount. Through talents I've got it so it actually does dot damage, and this also gains a bonus from your awesome level. It gains brutal strike chance as well as brutal strike damage, a low 4-second cooldown. Now previously this had vulnerability on it and it's disappeared, and for that reason Deadpool doesn't actually have vulnerability in his kit at all, which is strange, and I think it's potentially a bug, so just do bear that in mind there. But the next skill we have, another great cooldown one, is Bang Boom Pow. This hits for a nice amount and it actually has a 100% critical hit chance as well with an 8-second cooldown. Next skill we have, another 8-second cooldown, Real Armor Buster. This is more for single target, and that's the reason that you use Bang Boom Pow first, to take out the lesser trash, and then you can concentrate on the boss with this single target attack. So it hits for a whopping amount, critical hit chance 100% once again, critical hit damage 150 and brutal strike damage 150, so it really is pretty nice. Now we move on to the signature, which is server lag. So this is great, it works as a dot and it will actually stun the enemy as well, which is really pretty fantastic. It has a 35-second cooldown, and on top of that it has a steroid effect where if we scroll down you can see you gain a 15% damage bonus when you use this. So you want to use this skill before firing off your entire rotation so you get the full damage bonus on it. Now for the final skill, there's a few options you can use here. The one I'm using at the moment is Shoot All the Bullets, because I do like to simply hold down X to fire, go through my rotation. When I hit L2 I then switch to Shoot All the Bullets as well, which means I can start whittling down the trash there, and it also has a 10% critical hit chance bonus. Now alternatively, other skills you can use in this slot that could be useful are Superior Healing Factor. So this heals you 20% of your max health per second for 3 seconds. So the larger health pool you have, of course the higher amount that you actually be healing, and it can be pretty useful. It can be your kind of oh shit button if you're in trouble and you really need some health quickly and your med kit is on cooldown. You can use this. And finally you could use Cutting Room Floor. Now this may seem strange because we're a range build, but you would primarily be using Cutting Room Floor because it has invulnerability on it. So again, that can be a button to use if you're in a lot of trouble and surrounded by enemies. But next up, what we'll do is have a look at the talents. For the talents here again, it's very nice and simple, because if you're running a range build the talents are really quite clear. Now for the first line, it's a bit of a mixed bag, they're a bit strange these ones, but the one I like to use is Like a Boss. So when you actually attack a boss, you get a 10-second buff. Now it only works every 1 minute, but if you're running, let's just say for example operations, you only be coming across the boss once every 1 minute anyway if you're quickly farming it. So this will give you a damage bonus of 300, a whopping 10,000 health, an extra 300 maximum awesome, which works out at 600 damage rating, which on top of the damage bonus is really nice. And again, as mentioned, you've got the 10-second duration on it, so if you reach a boss, instantly hit your signature for your huge steroid buff, and then this will activate as well. You'll really do a massive amount of damage there. The next talent, this is Hulk Burn Air Smash. So with this, Hulk hand arrow gains the following effects. Gets a 50% damage bonus, and it gains the dot on it as well. We then have, for the signature talents, we have multiplayer, power-ups and God mode. Now it's a tough call between power-ups and multiplayer, and the damage comes out roughly the same, but I prefer multiplayer at the moment for the reason that it appears that your summons can actually pull a bit of aggro for you, so that can help. But either or, it's really down to you what one you want to use. As you can see, they're both pretty great there. The God mode one I wouldn't really bother with at all. Now next up we have talent line number 4, and we have Bazooka. So Bang Boom Pow gains the following effects: damage bonus 50%, critical hit chance 50%, which pulls it up to 100% in total, and also a whopping 50% power radius on it, so it really is a very nice screen clearer skill once you use this talent. Now finally we have Guns Glorious Guns. So Real Armor Buster always critically hits, which is fantastic, and you gain an extra 5% flat critical hit chance on Bang Bang Not So Minigun and Shoot All the Bullets. So regardless of what spender you choose to use, you'll be getting it up to an extra 10% critical hit chance there, which is really pretty great. Now next up anyway, we'll have a look at the synergies. So the synergies here, as always, is really pretty simple. Now we look at the primary attributes first, and that is durability and fighting. So we get that from War Machine and also Luke Cage. We then have your more standard synergies that if you've been watching a few of these videos you know I like to use, and they would be Blade, Hawkeye, Hulk, She-Hulk and also Squirrel Girl as well. Now specific synergies to Deadpool that are great would be Star-Lord and also Punisher and Black Widow, because they're providing either gun or range damage there. Now next up, let's have a look at the first 100 Infinity Point allocation. For the Infinity section then, we have a gem and a node that I find I'm using quite often here with these guides. Now the gem is a Mind Gem and the node is Deep Thought. So 100 points will give you a huge 250 awesome, and actually this will cover you up to your first 200 Infinity Points, because you want to keep stacking this for the health and the damage. It will go all the way up to an additional 500 awesome, which will make a huge difference on your character, and it will massively buff Bang Bang, your main spender, as well. After that, I will say generally you probably want to look at potentially attack speed to get the speed on Bang Bang up, because it has been buffed through all the awesome you've stacked on it. But next up for this video, what we'll do is have a look at the general gearing priorities. So with this gearing section, what I'll actually do is give you a general outline of where you want to start with the character, and then you can choose where to go from there. And the reason for that is gear can change through time, and I don't want any aspects of this video to actually be redundant, so I find it better to almost educate you guys how you want to gear, and then that way you can make your own decisions. Now we always start off with the legendary, because the rest of the gear really falls into place round that. For Deadpool, the one I'm using is the M-Cran. It offers 200 awesome, which as we know already is awesome for us. It offers 3000 health, which is pretty nice. We don't need it, but we're not going to complain about it. You then have the 600 damage rating, a huge 1500 critical hit rating, so you can push your spender even higher, considering you also have the flat 10% on it, and then the very nice rank 5 proc as well. Now in regards to awesome, it will crop up in a lot of these slots, so what I will mention is the way awesome works is 100 awesome will work out at 10% base health, and also 100 awesome would work out at 200 damage rating. So I'll leave you guys to do the calculations as I'm going through it. Now if we look at our remaining gear, there's quite a few slots I have filled here, and the reason for that is it ties into this awesome theme. So if we look at the medallion, you can get up to, it's a whopping 250 awesome on this as the additional effects, so that can really be pretty great. Medallion wise, you're more likely want to use probably Mandarin. I reckon that will be based in slot for quite some time. I don't have it, hence why I'm using Blob at the moment, but it's purely just to show off how high the awesome can actually go. We then have your Catalyst. Now this can roll up to 78 awesome on it, so again you're wanting to look for that. Of course you want to look for your Prime and your Tribute, but if you can get awesome on it, that works out nice as well. We then have the Relic, and this would have to be the Relic of Gibberum because it provides a whopping 200 awesome. And then there's one artifact I'll show off here because I don't think this will ever really be bested for Deadpool, and it's the modified improved arc reactor. I got this through an engineering recipe, so just keep doing all your recipes and hopefully you will eventually get this. Now it rolls up to a maximum 550 awesome, which is just insane, and there's actually a lot of other characters this can work out really good on, so get to that researcher and get researching to try and get the recipe for it. But that's all the artifacts and the gear and what have you covered. So what we'll do now for this video is we have the fun part where we show off some gameplay. We have a run through of the Taskmaster Institute operation, and I will do a full bounty clear, take down the trash, and then take down Taskmaster at the end. But as always, I hope this video was useful. If there's any questions or anything, feel free to ask, and enjoy this gameplay.